come to the heart of the city's French Quarter, home of the oyster bar, Iberville Cuisine.
For those of you who don't know, Kitchen Nightmares is a show about Gordon Ramsay insulting everything a restaurant owner does for the first half of the show, while the second half highlights him rebuilding the restaurant to be successful. All of this usually includes lots of British swearing and really shitty humor suited for 5-year-olds.
Iberville is owned by an unlikely culinary couple.
My name is Bonnie, and my partner and I, Camille, we opened Iberville Cuisine in April of 2023. I met Camille through mutual friends at a Saints game. And here we are 11 years later.
It's nice to see a pretty woman like Bonnie not being superficial and being with Camille for who he is as a person. I wonder what other qualities attracted her.
I'm a doctor and I'm trained in infectious disease.
Forget everything I just said. This former husk of a man, Camille, gave in to Bonnie's gold-digging ways, and she somehow convinced him to buy her a restaurant. Or perhaps this was cheaper than a divorce. Anyways, let's continue.
Initially, I put $500,000 to start the project, but it's been a little bit stressful.
As you'll soon find out later in the video, our boy Camille is not the sharpest tool in the shed for handing over the reins to Bonnie. Letting her run a restaurant is just as responsible of putting Lisso in charge of a buffet. What could go wrong?
But neither Bonnie nor myself know anything about a restaurant.
Right now I do a lot of things to keep the costs down because Iberville is currently losing $20,000 a month, $20,000 a month, $20,000 a month.
I knew I'd seen those crazy eyes somewhere. I think I just figured out who's her father.
I have, over the last year, learned everything the hard way. I do every job in this restaurant.
Wow, I really respect when an owner is in the trenches with their employees, working hard and showing if they work as diligently. Maybe one day they too can own a restaurant. They must have a lot of respect for her work ethic and dedication.
Bonnie and Camille could not handle anything. They don't have the experience. The waitresses know if something's wrong, ask Haley. Do not ask Bonnie. Bonnie doesn't know what to do, because we're busting her ass and she's just sitting in the office playing on her phone.
Haley appears pretty upset for not getting the support she needs from the owner. The worst thing Bonnie could do right now is blame everyone else for the restaurant failing and pretending that she is actively involved in the day-to-day operations. Guess what she does?
The restaurant is not doing well, but it's not because of me. I am giving it my everything, and the staff doesn't see it.
I'm shocked at how someone this organized isn't putting in the work that's expected of an owner. I guess Dr. Cash Machine? I mean, Camille probably does whatever he can when he gets there.
When he comes and eats and gets a drink, and that is it.
Okay, never mind. I should have probably watched another 2 seconds of the show. Anyways, in comes Gordon Ramsay with that gentle touch and compassion he's known for.
Bonnie, sit down. How you doing?
Fabulous.
Lady, you're scaring us.
Fabulous.
Yes.
Let's cut the BS.
Okay.
How you really doing?
The restaurant is not doing well, so I'm not doing well. It's been a very stressful journey.
But first of all, why take on something so big? This is huge.
I know a little bit about business.
I've never worked in a restaurant before. Oh, and I don't like cooking, but I see food 3 times a day. Does that count as experience in working and running a restaurant? For those of you who have never worked in a restaurant, let me tell you, it's definitely hard work. I can't even imagine how hard it must be to run the entire thing. The food ordering, quality control, and not to mention managing people. Unfortunately, people like Bonnie think just because they've eaten in restaurants all their lives, it can't be that hard. But they soon find out the devil is in the details, and costs can spiral out of control if you don't know what you're doing.
How much are you losing per month?
About 20,000.
$5 grand a week.
Yes.
How much money do you sink into the business?
We're about 850 in.
$850,000.
$850,000? How the hell do you spend $850,000 on a restaurant? And how much are you expecting to make as a profit? Camille must be rolling in dough. Note to self, make sure to become an infectious disease specialist in Next Life.
Wow. So we're losing 20 grand a month.
Uh-huh.
And from your perspective, the problems are where?
Everything. Because of my lack of knowledge, I had to learn everything the hard way.
I'll give her some credit here. She owns up to her lack of experience being the main contributing factor of not having any customers and the business failing. Unfortunately, her acknowledging this won't bring back $850,000. But not to fear, I'm sure she will be able to learn a lot from Gordon.
Wow, he has a really firm handshake, and he's much taller than I expected.
Obviously, this show only casts the most eccentric characters, and right on cue, Bonnie gets right back to her lies.
I go grocery shopping. I also cook the food sometimes.
You cook as well?
Bonnie starting with her lies after lies.
I've washed the dishes, I've worked the bar, I've been a waitress, I bust the tables, whatever it takes.
I do the taxes, I write software for the computers, I built a nuclear reactor to power the restaurant. Technically, I don't really need any staff here, I just keep them around since I like to hear them complain all day.
You are hands-on then.
You have to be.
No, that's not how it is. This is complete other.
Now onto one of my favorite parts of the show, the tasting. This is the part where Gordon tastes some quote-unquote random items on the menu and critiques them. By critique, I mean he tells them the food is suited for dogs and small rodents, and occasionally pretends to vomit.
Alrighty, these are fried pickles. These is a boudin ball with the homemade cream sauce. For some reason this week we bought frozen.
So we're buying in frozen balls now.
Yeah, I don't know the reason for the frozen ones.
Bonnie bows her head in shame as she knows what's coming next is a question that has been asked to her numerous times throughout her life, in places such as the DMV, at the supermarket, and even during her therapist sessions. Are you stupid?
Gotcha.
This is the fried alligator bites. People get upset because that's not the portion size we normally serve.
And when you get complaints like that directly from the customer, who do you refer them to?
Me because I'm the manager.
But we've got the owner standing next to you.
She don't really deal with the complaints on the table. I deal with the complaints on the table.
Right. She doesn't deal with the complaints. She's very hands-on. She runs this place.
Get out of there, Bonnie. They're on to you.
This is the goldfish Iberville.
Thank you.
And then this is a fried shrimp po' boy.
Great. Maybe I should stop now. The whole menu, not a good idea. Wow. Okay. And is it frozen fish?
It tickles my tits how Gordon asked if it's frozen fish, as though his production team never came before he arrived to vet the people in the menu and see if it would make for good old dysfunctional reality TV. I guess he thinks a bunch of Bonnies are watching the show.
Yes, sir. Bonnie won't let us order fresh.
So you've been disarmed.
We have to go through Bonnie to get anything.
Thank you.
For my friends watching from around the world that don't know, New Orleans is located in the Gulf of Mexico, which gives it access to a variety of fresh seafood. Having frozen fish is like someone in the desert ordering sand from Amazon.
Okay, what's
This is the Captain Platter. The hush puppies are made in-house. Everything else is not fresh.
Right.
At this point, the waitress could have put down a Michelin start meal, but Gordon would nevertheless find something about the dish that made him want to gag and strangle the owners with asparagus.
And then this is the shrimp and grits.
Thank you. It smells so greasy. Shrimp and grits. So salty. The center on the outside is cold.
Oh my God.
I tasted that. It turned my lips into a cat.
This continues for a few minutes until Gordon gets to the part where he assembles the entire team to tell them what they already know. The food sucks, but you think that would be obvious since they're on a TV show with cameras everywhere, and the show is called Kitchen Nightmares. Thanks, Gordon!
Am I really on Bourbon Street?
No, Gordon, you're not. You've traveled back in time to 2009 when you were caught serving frozen, pre-prepared foods in your restaurant with a massive markup. I bet you tried to forget that, Gordon, didn't you? For the next few minutes, he continues berating everyone with exaggerated hand gestures and breaks down what experience everyone has and how much they get paid. I really feel bad for these employees, as a poorly run restaurant translates into very low tips and therefore salaries for its workers. So bad food aside, what else could possibly be driving customers away from this fine-looking restaurant?
Oh, when the thing keep marching in.
It sounds like we're at a funeral.
I know. It's very boring, and people don't stay.
Oh my lord.
How can this place actually be successful? You've got Bonnie who seems to be flapping around without a clue on what to do. And then in the evening, which is usually the most lucrative part of the day for these types of businesses, in comes Camille with his final coffin nail hammering performance. That pretty much sums up this episode. The producers decided to split this one up in a two-part series, likely due to the fact that Bonnie's crazy eyes deserve a second episode. I'll be dropping the conclusion to this train wreck very soon, so please like and subscribe to be notified. And let me know in the comments if you think Bonnie should remain responsible for this establishment, or if she's better suited to run a hot dog cart. Thanks for watching.